Here comes AJ. He's saved! He's pulled out! Charlie are promoted! It's a great save, Matt Irwin! It's heartbreak! The pitch is invaded! Charlie are into the National League!
One kick separated Spennymoor from promotion to the National League as the 2018-19 season ended in heartbreak at Victory Park against Chorley in the playoff final. A season packed with memorable moments and iconic victories concluded with a sense of pride amongst the devastation as attention turned to a new campaign. The summer of 2019 saw dramatic changes at the Brewery Field, with a state-of-the-art pitch installed, making it one of the finest surfaces in non-league football. The planning process and the delivery was spearheaded by Managing Director Tony Wilson.
Obviously, straight after the game, we then want to start digging up soil, and it became real. So all of the hard work in applying for grants, applying for planning permission, then it went. And when the pitch disappeared, it's kind of, wow, let's hope this works in time.
As soon as the Chorley game had finished, straight back at it, speaking to our players first, which is important, and then obviously identifying targets that we felt would enhance the squad, which we hopefully have done. But I was just saying that on the way to Joanne this morning, that it just seems 5 minutes ago that we were finishing the game at Chorley. But listen, I think this is my 13th year as a manager in charge, and you're ready to go again as soon as you see the sun, as soon as you see the pitch and the training ground and the lads ready to go. It just feels right.
Manager Jason Ainsley acted quickly, offering Ryan Hall a new contract to fend off interest from other clubs, as well as bringing in defender Nathan Buddle from Blythe Spartans to replace the outgoing Chris Thackeray.
I've supported Jason on and off over the last few seasons, and then he approached us again just before the playoff game type of thing, saying, look, want to speak to you next week type of thing, and sat down with him, and yeah, they really impressed us. And I've always been aware of Spennymoor, they've always went in the right direction the last few years, and then this just felt like the right time.
A familiar face also signed up for the new season. The club's all-time leading goal scorer, Gavin Cogden, returned to the Brewery Field for a second spell after his release from South Shields.
It's a massive move. Obviously as soon as I spoke to Jason, it was just a club that I wanted to instantly come back to. I've looked at Spennymoor while I've obviously been away, seeing what's happening here. So for me, it's just I'm buzzing. I can't wait to get started, and it's a massive move for us.
Following the departure of Sean Tooten, Ainsley bolstered his attacking options with the arrival of James Roberts from Hereford.
Really good intentions for the club. Seems a very, very honest man, and someone, he's been honest with me as well, and that's helped. And I've really looked at the club, looked at all the options that I've had in this summer, and this is definitely the best fit and definitely the best place.
Other new arrivals included former Sunderland winger Reece Greenwood and former Newcastle and Middlesbrough midfielder Dan Ward, as well as exciting winger Ben McKenna from Chester.
Yeah, it's been nothing but positivity really. Obviously since I signed, I've had a lot of messages from people wishing me well. To be honest with you, myself is a positive feeling about the club.
A big name also joined the ranks, with former Chelsea and Hartlepool United defender Carl Magnier being Jason Ainsley's final acquisition of the summer.
I think part-time just suits us down to the ground, and I think Spennymoor will get the best out of us that way. But I've always enjoyed coming to the games.
Well, I think it's evident that the club's on a massive upward trajectory. And I think we have brought in some new support, and I think that's evident from the season ticket sales early doors this year. What I can promise is a bunch of hard-working lads who will give everything for the shirt. There's no one that will shirk that. A management team that'll give everything. I'm blessed with a really good group of Midge, Tommy, Oti and Baz. We're a real together group. It's a community spirit. It's a community club. And we want everybody from the community to really, want to be a part of Spennymoor.
Spennymoor's pre-season got off to a sour note as Scott Harrison suffered an injury which would keep him out to the end of the season at Stockton Town. But there was some positive news, with Mark Anderson's superb free kick earning a 1-1 draw. An enthralling game at Dean Street saw Moors recover twice from losing positions to eventually win 7-3, courtesy of second half braces from substitutes Gavin Cogden and Andrew Johnson. After netting his first Moors goal against West Auckland, James Roberts scored 4 times as Spennymoor won 5-0 at Stocksbridge Park Steels. The pre-season schedule was rounded off with 2 defeats, the first at Dunstan before a heavy defeat at Harrogate Town.
Really well to get away from his marker. Comes in, it's in the back of the net. Far side, it's in swinging cross into the penalty area, it's headed towards goal, and it's happened again. Come again, another cross from Leesley towards the middle, it's got to, it is. Feasible for the back post, it's got to be in, it is in.
Due to ongoing pitch work at the Brewery Field, Moors faced 3 consecutive away trips at the start of the season. Commencing with their longest journey of the campaign at Hereford, the club new signing James Roberts had just departed.
Just that it was typical. It was always going to be. You know, I wasn't really concerned about when we played them, whether it was mid-season or early season, because I'm really confident. I've looked at the quality in this dressing room. I obviously know what they've got, and we have a massive amount of respect for them. I personally have a massive amount of respect for them, but I believe that what we've got in this dressing room is very, very strong. And whether we played them at the start of the season, as we're going to, or whether we're going to play them mid-season, I think we're going to be raring to go on that opening day of the season. And as I say, I've looked in the dressing room, how strong we are. You know, I'm backing it.
I think there's going to be a lot of surprise. A lot of teams have invested well and got some good players. So, like it was last season, there's no easy games. There's no games where you can see, oh, we're going to get 3 points there. You know, it's not like that in this league. You have to be ready for every game and up for the battle. All the teams are good teams. And obviously we done well last year, so people know that now and probably a bit more clued on to us, but it's just up to us to improve on what we did last year.